everybody, welcome to Crypto Group Buy discussion on the state of the coin. If you guys have all heard, Bitcoin has had a really big crash today. It was cruising at a value of about 14k, 13k, and then all of a sudden this morning it started crashing. It started going down. It fell down to about like 10k, and then it went back up, and then it came down again this morning, down to about 9,000 points, $9,000. I mean, like, people are panicking, people wondering, like, oh, what's happening, why is Bitcoin crashing? So if you guys are here for the first time, we'll welcome you. Like, I'm Crypto Med, and I'm here to give you guys a quick analysis on what happened. Like, why is Bitcoin crashing? And if you guys have any questions about Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies, feel free to join us in the chat. Feel free to just ask any questions, and I'll be happy to answer you. This is going to be like an AMA and Ask Me Anything session where I'll try to share with you everything I know based on the cryptocurrencies. We know that crypto is going to have a very exciting year this year. There's a lot of things happening in this space. We have a lot of new coins coming out. We have regulations coming out. We have like people like McAfee who's expecting Bitcoin to hit $1 million by 2020. So we know that there's a lot of exciting things happening, but we are just starting this brand new year with a crash. Like, if you guys were in Bitcoin a while ago, you guys know that back in December, Bitcoin went all the way up to 19k, almost 20k. In fact, some people even mortgaged a house just to get in on Bitcoin when it was at its highest point. And you can imagine those people just lost like half of the value within the span of 40 days. It's creepy. And that's the scary thing about the crypto space. That you have these coins, it goes up, it goes down, it could go sideways, and like, if you know how to play it, you can turn $1 into $100, $1,000, $10,000. But at the same time, if you don't play it in the smart way, if you just play this in a foolish way, you could lose everything. So that's about it, about how like crypto is, right? But for today, I'm going to be showing you guys some ways on how you can tell whether where a crypto is moving, right? This is one analysis I use. It's called MA. If you guys don't know, I'm using this platform called Binance. It's a trading platform. I like it because it's one of the bigger platforms. They have about 5 million users on this, and they also have a lot of coins you can trade. And you have tools like these, right? So this is one tool I use called MA, or the moving average, right? And you can tell I have a couple moving averages happening right now. We have like I'm just gonna move my mouse over here. We have I use the days moving average, so like a 50-day average. I have a 100-day average, and a 200-day average. And for those of you who are not familiar with what a moving average, a moving average basically is basically an indicator that tells you the average, right, of the last like X number of days. So for like a 50-day moving average, right, this is basically the average of the last 50 days all combined together. Let's add this to 25 days, and then add this to a 50-day, and add this to a 100-day, because Bitcoin wasn't anywhere a while ago. So we're to look at this chart right here, right? Bitcoin, about a couple months ago, was cruising at about $1,000, $2,000 over the summer, right? It went up to about 4,000 and went back down to about 3,000, right? Back in like late September, mid-September, right? And then it started moving up and up and up and up. And you can see this blue line right here, this is the moving average for the 25-day moving average. Actually, it changes to a 25-day, and the red is the 50-day, and the yellow is the 100-day moving average. And you can see that Bitcoin has been rather moving at an exuberant rate. It's been like growing. A lot of people have been putting a lot of money in, and over and like, in the last couple like in the weeks like leading from November all the way to December, right? It shot all the way up to about like almost 20,000, and you can see how far it was from the moving average, right? And one thing in the financial space is we use the moving average as one of the indicators on the health of a coin. If a coin is moving too far away from a moving average, then you can anticipate a likelihood that it could crash, that it could come down. And that was the case like earlier in the year. You were to look at earlier in the year, Bitcoin was moving pretty far from the moving average. You can see that it was like stretch out, and then it came back down. Right, it came back down, and then there are times where it even came down to like and went past the 25-day moving average to touch the 50-day moving average. And usually, every time it comes down close to a moving average, right, it bounces off, right? And that was the case. It bounced off here, and if you were to go keep going here, right? And then when you look at the most recent in the month of December, right, Bitcoin bounced off the 50-day moving average a couple times. It bounced off here once, it bounced off a second time, and then the most recent third time it fell through. But you can see that upon hitting the 100-day moving average, it looks like it's starting to bounce back. It's starting to bounce off, and you can anticipate that Bitcoin could have a good chance of recovering. I think I'm going to be pretty optimistic on this. That it's going to be, I think it's going to bounce back. It's going to move back up, but I could be wrong. I mean, like maybe people are testing Bitcoin and testing it against the 100-day moving average line, and it could fall. It could fall through that, right? And there are like a lot of good reasons why like Bitcoin is falling a lot too, right? Because I think Samuel here recently just asked about like Bitcoin contracts and Bitcoin futures, and that's one of the things a lot of people are like playing at, right? They want to bet that Bitcoin is not going to hit a certain amount, and what they're doing is they are like betting against Bitcoin. And the thing about this is like with Wall Street legitimizing like this type of trading, right? It brings in a lot of like money from the institution. You have a lot of money from Wall Street coming into the space, and when it comes into the space, like you can imagine that these traders are gonna be like pumping and dumping this cryptocurrency, because these people, they're here to make money. They're not just holding it because it looks like a cool coin, but these people are here to make money, and they're gonna do whatever it takes to get more money, even if it means like taking money from others. And how they do it is through these pumps and dumps, right? And you look right here, right? You can see how it pumped, like Bitcoin was pumped a lot, right? And then it dropped, right? You can imagine that those traders who got in, right? They were probably like the ones pumping it. They got in when it was cheap, they were pumping it, and then they dumped a bit. And then when the price was low, they bought back in, making a profit. And you can see the same here, that pump and dump, right? And now, like, Bitcoin's dumped to, like, it was most recently dumped past the $10,000 mark, and it's recovering about like 10,499, 10 like 10k, 10.5k, right? And we'll see where it goes. I mean, like, let's take a look at an analysis of what what happened like in the last 24 hours, right? Let's look at 24 hours analysis. Right now we are right here. We're at like we're at about like 2045, or at least this console is showing us 2045. If we were to go back to the last 24 hours ago, Bitcoin was cruising at about 13k. And what happened? Bam! It dropped. Why did it drop? Well, think about this, right? Back at the 2300 hours, that's probably when Europe was waking up, and when Asia is falling asleep. So you can imagine that traders from from the UK, traders from France, traders from the EU, they're probably dumping it because of this drop right here, or because of certain news. And we have been following the Bitcoin news in the last 24 hours. There were a lot of FUD, a lot of news going on about how China was cracking down on Bitcoin miners and Bitcoin exchanges. And you can imagine like this type of news is causing a lot of FUD, and a lot of people are saying like, I'm getting out of this. Right? I don't know whether Bitcoin could survive. And you can imagine like these people from Europe, from UK, waking up seeing this on the headlines, deciding to start dumping the money. They dump all the money. In fact, let's see if I can get a tool. We can get some tool up here. Here. So you can see they dump. Yeah. So this was the first dump, right? You can see how low it dumped, right? It dumped all the way from like 30k down to like 10.5k, and then the market recovered, and it kept going until 8 a.m. What happened at 8 a.m.? Well, U.S., Canada, North America just woke up, and you know what happened? They saw this big dump. They panicked. They think a dump is happening, so they started dumping themselves too. They started dumping all the way here. They started dumping here, but they recover, right? You know why? Because lunch. Because traders need to take a lunch break too, right? And then they continue dumping. Dump, right? Now they've dumped so far down to 9,000. Market starts recovering, and of course Asia starts waking up, right? But and I think this, you can say this could be like the mini dump from Asia. That now the question is, how high could this dump go, right? Right? How high could this dump like go, right? I mean, like people are dumping, right? If people are dumping, how long could they be dumping for, right? This is something that we don't know, right? It's hard to tell how far we could drop, because it could go anywhere. I mean, going back to this moving average, right? You can tell that we just hit the 100-day Bollinger Band. We just, not Bollinger Band, 100-day moving average, right? We just touched that, and we crossed that, but the action, like all these trading action, it's been pushing it back up, right? Because a lot of people, they use these as them buy-in point. They see that whenever like crypto falls below these lines, they buy in. And you can imagine like the large number of people who just bought in, right, at 9,000, right, and they rode it up to about like 10k. They just made $1,000 profit, like a tidy like 11% profit right there. And this is how some smart traders trade. They just camp right on these moving average, right, and they buy in whenever it dips below that. It's one way to trade. Whether it's a profitable way, it comes down to how attentive you are to this, right? Because it's the crypto trading space is not for everybody. Some people, they have weak hands, they have weak fingers, and they give up whenever they lose value. And this is something that like, it takes like courage. It takes like a lot of guts, right, if you want to do well in this space. And yeah, so I mean, like, if you guys are enjoying this, right, just hit the like button. I would love to start seeing some likes, start seeing some response from you guys, so that I know that, hey, like, you guys are learning from this, right? I mean, I want you guys to learn about this, to understand that what's happening right now is not the end of the world. What's happening right now is merely just a correction. It's a very normal correction, right? If you look at past performances, right, you can see that Bitcoin has corrected itself to the moving averages in the past. So what we're experiencing right now is not a recession, but it's more of a correction. It's like growing pains. You can think of it as growing pains, right? It's a sign that we are becoming more stable, right? Bitcoin is reaching a price that is more stable, and that it's safer to get in. But also note that like whether you get it or not is up to your risk. Just want to reiterate, I'm not a financial advisor, so like everything I tell you, I'm just reporting on what's happening. I'm not telling you to invest or not invest, right? If you do want to get proper advice, you should seek a financial advisor instead of watching some guy speak on YouTube, right? But moving on, let's continue on, right? Like like where could Bitcoin go, right? Where could Bitcoin go, right? How far could it go, and like, are we gonna lose everything? Well, my take is we're not gonna lose everything. Bitcoin is not gonna correct down to like $1,000, right? I think Bitcoin has quite a way to go. There's a lot of players in the space. We may have like a couple like FUD news that went on in the space from the Korean exchange cracking down on people, and also and also like China cracking down on exchanges and mining, but that's just one part of the world. I mean, we still have the rest of the world that is still open to cryptocurrencies, right? We have the U.S., we have Canada, we have the UK, EU. They're still tolerant to it. There's still a lot of enterprises spawning out of this crypto space, and I think crypto has quite a way to go. And yeah, it's not the end of the world. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Feel free to ask me any questions you have in the crypto space, right? If you have any in the discussion below on the chat. Like this is I think this is a great time for everyone to learn about the crypto space, to learn about like the deeper mechanics of this, because very often when we come to this crypto space, we think about the price, the money, but we don't think about how it works. In fact, I was talking to a developer, a nerd, a real like crypto nerd the other day, and he was very upset at how a lot of people in the crypto space are just all about like Lambos and going to the moon, right? And he said that most of these people in the crypto space, like especially traders, they don't know anything about crypto. Like, they don't know anything about blockchain or the blockchain technology. In fact, a lot of people, they probably haven't even read the Satoshi paper. And if you guys don't know about the Satoshi paper, right? Satoshi paper, it's named after the guy who invented Bitcoin. He was the guy who created Bitcoin. He went by the name Satoshi. Whether that was his real name or not, we don't know. But that's how Bitcoin came to be. It started off as a white paper, as a thesis that he put together, and this thesis became reality. Okay, we have Samuel who just asked a question. Do you think there will be a rebound after Lunar New Year? I think if you were to be optimistic, I think there could be a rebound after Lunar New Year. Just as it has been in the past couple years. In fact, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you a screenshot. I just have to find a screenshot first, but I want to show you a screenshot of this is a pretty popular picture. So this is a really good screenshot about the price of Bitcoin for the last couple of years. Notice how this was back. Well, let's look at it right now, 2018, right? We're up here and then we dropped right here. I'm sorry, I can't make this bigger, but or could I? Yeah, I could. So 2018, we had this big drop, right? And we're here right now, right? Actually, this was December. We reached all-time high, peak, and it came down, and then it had this drop. I mean, the drop we just had is nothing compared to where we came from, like 20K, right? Right, we dropped from here from like 2.4K down to like 9K. People are crying already, right? But look here, a year ago we had the same thing. We hit all-time high back then, and then we hit this big drop. Right, and then look at the year before, same thing. Bitcoin hit an all-time high, and then it crashed, and then we recover. And same thing, 2015, we were doing pretty well, and then we crash. And look at every time, 2015 we crash and we recover. 2016 we crash and we recover. 2017 we crash, we recover. And what do you think about 2018? I'm pretty optimistic, to be honest. I'm pretty optimistic that I think Bitcoin is going to recover. Yeah, we had a crash yeah, we may have may got a few bruises from this scratch from this crash, right? But I think Bitcoin is gonna recover, and we're gonna be stronger than ever, right? I think I that's my personal opinion. I think Bitcoin is going to continue on. We're going to be hitting our 100K by maybe next year or in 2 years, right? And yeah, I mean, there's a lot of movement, a lot of people in the space, and a lot of interest, right? Especially a lot of interest. Coin market cap. There's just another website that you may want to check out if you are into the crypto space, right? This is one of my favorite pages I keep track of. If you guys look at this, Bitcoin dominance. If you guys don't know what it is, right? This is basically an index people use to measure like how big like Bitcoin is, and you can see that Bitcoin dominance has been dwindling in the last couple months, right? But look at what happened, like ever since this recent downtrend, right? With the crackdown, everything, everybody's starting to move back to Bitcoin. They're moving back into Bitcoin, right? You can see that Bitcoin percentage is growing, right? And look at who's losing. Ethereum's actually not Ethereum, but a lot of altcoins, a lot of like random coins, they are losing dominance. Ethereum is still holding steady. You also have, I believe Ripple. Yeah, Ripple right here. Right? Ripple. If you guys remember Ripple, back in December, everyone was trying to get into Ripple. They were like, "Oh, I need to get Ripple. I want to get Ripple." Right? It was like the Ripple craze, and everybody want to get in. And look at what happened to Ripple. Its popularity dropped off. Like people stopped caring about Ripple. Like after New Year, because actually you can look at Ripple right here. What happened? Right? You guys like who like still like who actually got into Ripple? I mean, like you guys remember all this Ripple craze, right? People were saying like, oh, I need to get into Ripple, but Ripple actually had a big crash. Ripple actually, if you were to look at Ripple actually had a really big crash. Look at this, like they just dropped 30%, but if you were to look at where it was before, right? It was trading at about like $3 something, right? 3.81, almost $4. And then after New Year, right? After New Year, it crashed all the way down to like this was just a couple days ago, last week. It crashed down to $1.71, and then now Ripple is like only $1, a little above $1, right? Which is like almost the same price as what it was like before Christmas, right? Before everybody was talking about I need to get Ripple. And we can see there's like a reversal of like altcoins right now. People are moving out of altcoins. They're moving back into Bitcoin because Bitcoin is king. Bitcoin is where the action is. Bitcoin is where the party is, and that's why everybody is moving back into it. But there are also people who are like cashing out of Bitcoin because they are getting tired of these roller coasters. Like you think about all these like people who got in back in September, who got in back in October, November when Bitcoin just hit like 10K, 5K, 7K, right? These were the like you can say these are the people who they are like the amateur investors. These are not even investors. In fact, they're just people who heard it over the news and they feel greedy. They say, "Hey, I want to get in," and they put in the money, right? You can look at the price of Bitcoin before, right? And it was just hovering. It wasn't getting a lot, right? Even this that it wasn't a lot, and all of a sudden you can see all this money that's moving in, right? This is not the price of Bitcoin. This is actually the market cap of all the cryptocurrencies together, right? So imagine you take every cryptocurrency and you turn it back into US dollars. That's how much it will be worth, right? So if we were traveling at about like 150 like billion dollars, there were 150 billion dollars back in October, right? Before that it was maybe 75. You can see that there's been like a lot of doubling of like crypto, right value, right? The whole crypto sphere has been like doubling, like within months, and then all of a sudden it started like going parabolic, right? It started shooting upward, right? We went like 400 billion, 500 billion, 600 billion, and then at the peak we were at about like 800 billion dollars. right? Look at all this money came in, and you can imagine like why did these money come in, right? And these were mostly like from people who just wanted to get in. They wanted to make a quick buck. They think that Bitcoin was like a magic bullet or like a get rich quick thing. So that's why they bought in. And after buying in, seeing that no, it's not. That's not the case. Right? It's volatile. These people are starting to move out, and I can see like from here to here, a lot of people move out, and then like even more just move out. You have like people from all over the world who are like pulling the money out, right? Because they just couldn't handle the roller coaster. And I think it's pretty healthy, right? It's that's just the system of that's just how the Bitcoin system gets rid of people who don't have the patience, people who are not meant to be in like here, right? You don't want people who don't know anything, like gambling the money, right? In order for a crypto space to be healthy, you want people who are well informed, who are investing and growing the space. So yeah, so there you have it. This is probably another reason why like crypto is changing, right? That there's a shift, like there was a shift of people, like from like educated people to not so informed people in the space, and now these not so informed people are moving out, right? You also have like regulation that is coming, right? You have like government, right? You have like yeah, you have government. You have new regulations that are coming in place. I mean, you guys recall there was also Bitcoin taxes, right? Taxation of Bitcoin, right? That government is starting to tax Bitcoin, right? They realize that Bitcoin is not something they could stop anymore, right? They try stopping it, they try banning it, they couldn't stop it, they couldn't ban it, they couldn't arrest anybody, right? Why? Because Bitcoin is decentral. There's no central body, there's no head, right? It's not like it's not like it's not like a riot where you can just say arrest the leaders, right? You can't like chop off the head and kill the snake. There's no leader in Bitcoin. There's no head in Bitcoin, right? They may be like nodes, they may be influencers, but even if one influencer falls, another will take its place. And that's the thing about Bitcoin. There's no like central server. If they truly want to take out Bitcoin, they have to ban internet completely, right? Worldwide. And they know that it's just not feasible, and that's why they're moving towards taxing it. Right? They think that if they can't stop it, why don't they try to get as much as they can out of this, right? And it's a fair move on the government's end. I mean, like, who doesn't like extra money? Who doesn't like extra revenue, right? And a lot of crypto, a lot of people in the crypto space, right? They are starting to worry about okay, like Bitcoin is good. I mean, like the government is going to tax on Bitcoin. They couldn't figure out how can they pay for these taxes, right? And that's why they're starting to pull out, right? Which also means more plunder for the rest of us, who are hodling, for the rest of us who are holding on, right? Um, we are going to be like staying in the space. We're going to be hodling this Bitcoin. We're going to be like taking up these Bitcoins at a discount because the rest of the people are like dumping it. Right? You guys, the rest of the people, they don't understand this. They're dumping it, and we're going to take it at a discount because we know that eventually there's going to be a new wave of people who will be coming in and buying into this. And we saw that, a couple years ago. If we were to go back, I can see that Bitcoin it comes in waves. It comes. You can see this, like Bitcoin comes in waves, right? Bitcoin was pretty popular here, and then it slowed down, and then all these people bought in. Like, all these people sold, but there was also these people who bought in, right? They bought in when it was at this price right here, and then as Bitcoin started picking up because there's a new group of people coming in, new money coming in, and before you know it, whatever investment they bought in is worth a lot more. And like even like those who jumped out like back here, right? They're probably kicking the pants, like regretting like jumping out that early. So yeah, I'm pretty optimistic about like crypto. I mean, like what we're experiencing right here, it's just like this. It's pretty similar as to this small molehill right here, right? I mean, back then it seemed big, right? Oh, Bitcoin was at $1,000, right? There was like about like $15 billion um, worth of money in Bitcoin. Right now, we have a lot more. Now we have a lot more, and that's how crypto is gonna grow, right? There'll always be people coming in and people moving out, and those who know how to navigate the space are gonna profit from this. And yeah, like, feel free to ask any questions if you have any questions about crypto. I think this is a great opportunity for everyone to learn about this crypto space, right? To learn about to learn about crypto, to learn about how cryptocurrency and Bitcoin and the whole ecosystem of crypto works, right? So that you guys can be insulated in the future. And yeah, and if you guys are enjoying what you're learning, feel free to hit subscribe so that you can get future education sessions, right? I think in the future I will be doing some sessions on how to trade, how to like couple ways on how you can grow your Bitcoin. I'm currently working on 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 a publication on a book on how like 10 ways to grow your crypto, right? If you are holding crypto and you want to get deeper into crypto, right? I'm gonna be showing you guys like 10 different ways people are growing the crypto. I'm gonna be like interviewing people like who are like growing the crypto in different ways, and I want to share their stories with you guys. And if you guys are like growing the crypto, you guys have crypto and you guys are growing it, right? I'd love to interview you, right? Share your story or share how you are growing it so that everybody can benefit, right? And I mean, the crypto space is a pretty exciting space. There's a lot of people, a lot of stories, and a lot of opportunities, like for people to have their lives change. In fact, like I've met a lot of people in this crypto space, right? Because of crypto, their lives changed, right? They were able to get out of that boring 9 to 5 job they dreaded, right? They were able to find financial freedom through crypto, right? Through making wise steps, wise investment in the crypto space. I've met people who, like, whose lives were defined by crypto, right? How they they used to not have any purpose, but because of crypto, now they find purpose in their lives, right? They are going around and being ambassadors for crypto and living quite large at the same time, right? There was like the guy who got me into crypto, like this guy, he got in when back in like 2012, right, when Bitcoin was only at like $100, right? Like this guy is really funny. Like he went to bank, right? But he was before he was more like he was working as like a ESL teacher. He wasn't making a lot because as an ESL teacher, you just don't make a lot, right? It's not like you're an engineer or lawyer or anything, right? He was like making like maybe like a bit above minimum wage. He's working part time, but he had money saved up in the bank. Like when he heard about crypto, right? He went to the bank one day and he just pulled everything from the bank. He gave the banker the finger, the bird, right? And he just put all of his money into crypto. Like this guy, he was a crypto fanatic. Like he put everything he had into crypto, into Bitcoin, and you can imagine like where he is right now. Right? He has been hodling. He hasn't been holding on to like Bitcoin ever since then, right? Never a single time like he sold anything, right? He never got spooked when like Bitcoin fell from like 1,000 to 250. He still held on. In fact, he even bought more. He was like collecting rent. Like, well, not collecting rent. He's paying everything in crypto as well too. And like this guy, I think he's a crypto fanatic. Um, yeah. So I mean, I think right now we have actually we have Jeff McNukes who's going to be joining us right now. So I'm just going to like patch him on. So let's see if I can get him on right now. So we can get Jeff McNukes from Asian Capitalists on. Yeah. So we can have some fun getting more people. I mean, Jeff is another guy who got in like crypto in an early stage. I mean, he really believed in crypto when it was still fresh, and I mean, I think he's doing pretty well right now. But let's see, can we get him on right now? Okay, so he's still trying to connect. This is like, well, this is his first time joining us live, so he's trying to figure out that he realized that he can't do it on his non-Chrome desktop. So, yeah. If you have any questions, feel free to ask about it on, like, feel free to ask about it in the comment section, right? Whether you have questions on trading, questions on different coins, maybe on ICOs or on different lending platforms, right? In fact, there's a lot, I met a lot of people who made a lot of money through these lending platforms, right? How they just lend the money out to like to a company that has like an AI trader or to like a mining pool, and they get like 1% interest every day. I think that's pretty cool. When you make that, if you put in like $1,000, you get $10 every day. This is like passive, right? You don't have to worry about it, right? And I see people who have been making money through like crypto, right? Through just by writing, right? These people, they go on like Steam it, right? They write on Steam it, they write articles, and they make money through there. And you also have people who just they work and they collect crypto as payment. So yeah, let's try this again. Let's try to get Jeff on the line again. So he's ready to join. Let's see, can we get him on the line? Nope. He's not picking up again, but yeah, so there's a lot of ways you can make, you can he's calling right now. Let's try to see if he, hey Jeff, can you hear me? No, I think I closed the window when he was calling. Did I Hey Jeff, do you hear me? Hello? Nope. I think I closed the window when he was calling. Let's try this again. Oh, let's wait for him to call again. But yeah, so if you have any questions, right? If you have any questions about crypto, about like how to grow in the space, or how to just multiply crypto, right? Feel free to ask about it. I mean, we always want to share the stories. We always want to cover different stories. We want to share, like, tell you guys how you can grow in the space, and yeah, I mean, lots of people are crushing it. There are people who are crushing it. I've seen like people who made like $1 million on crypto, right? And there's also a lot.
There it is.
Okay. Hey
Hello?
Jeff. Hey. Yeah, you know you're live right now. You're live on.
Can you hear me? I can't hear you.
You can't hear me? Can you?
Maybe, hold on. Turn the
You
volume.
probably have to turn the volume up.
Wait. Okay, no, I can't hear you.
You still can't hear me. Okay. Let's. Is this mute? Nope. Still not mute. Okay. So we're gonna we have to try another platform. Maybe.
Are you using a mic?
I'm using a headphone right now. I'm using a headphone right now. Let's just try. I'm gonna try another platform. I'm gonna give you a Google Hangout link. So yeah. Okay, for now we're gonna take a quick break right now. You can hold on for a sec. Hey everybody, welcome back to Crypto Goodbye live stream. I got Jeff McNewts from Asian Capitalists on live stream right now.
Also of Crypto Together Facebook page.
Yes,
Make
Crypto
sure to like
Together.
and follow.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, like Jeff, I think your story is really interesting. I mean, I think you got into crypto when it was still really cheap, right? So you want to share about your crypto adventure?
Yeah. Well, we both kind of got in through the same person.
Yeah, the guy who like took his money out of the bank and went all into crypto.
Right, yeah. And I think he really did a lot to at a time when it was nothing, right? Bitcoin was nothing. It wasn't even a blip on the radar.
Oh, it was.
He was really, really committed, and he dedicated his whole career towards promoting Bitcoin at the time.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we really have a lot to thank him for, I think.
Yeah, I have to give him a lot of credit too, because I think my story was like I spotted him for dinner one time and he paid me in Bitcoin.
Right,
It
yeah.
wasn't a lot back then, right? But when you have like dinner that just like 10x like over a couple a couple years, I mean it becomes a big deal.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean I have to give him a lot of credit for that, and yeah, I mean I'm enjoying this crypto space. I'm learning a lot, met a lot of wonderful people, and I think Jeff, are you part of?
When would you?
Yep.
I was just going to ask you, when would you consider yourself as fully immersed into
I think
crypto?
I guess my standard is or at least how I look at it is when you are constantly checking like crypto, like the price of crypto, right? When you always like whenever you go to like a gathering and all you talk about is crypto, right? Then you can say that you've become a crypto junkie.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
But
For me, that would be
Yep.
around March when it really took off this year. That was when I really started to check.
Yeah. I mean,
what were you gonna say?
Yeah, I think I became a crypto like a crypto fanatic, right? Back in mid November, mid to late November, when
Yeah.
when I learned a lot of crypto and like everything like every time I see like crypto people, I get excited, right? Because I get to share about like we get to celebrate together about how crypto went up to like 10K, crypto went up to 15K, right? We talk about news and everything.
Yeah.
And I think even at like family gatherings, right? I was like whenever the crypto topic like popped up, right? I was on it. I was jumping on it, right? Telling everybody about crypto, and I think I'm like.
Have you experienced a major correction like the one we're experiencing right now?
Yeah, I mean, like right now the major correction, right? Especially for those who are new, who are just joining us right now. I mean, like, I was telling everybody here that like the correction we're experiencing right now is actually a healthy thing. Like what we're experiencing right now, believe it or not, is a healthy correction. It's not anything. It's not anything unusual. It's actually a natural system.
This year alone, it's been like how many times?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe you can zoom out on the chart there and
yeah, you can see
like
right
how many times we've already.
But I'm just going to quickly I'm going to quickly like try to make this how can I do this XXX. I'm going to close a bunch of this stuff, but yeah, I'm going to close a bunch of this stuff actually. I'm going to try this indicator again. Try moving average indicator, right? Oh no, there you go. So yeah, I'm just going to close a bunch of these indicators and open a bunch more. But Jeff, are you familiar with the moving average? Are you familiar with the moving average, Jeff?
What's that?
Are you familiar with the moving average indicator?
Not too much, actually.
Yeah, so
I've heard of it. I actually don't know how to use it at all.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite indicators out there.
Okay.
Yeah, I use it as a measurement to see like how healthy, right, a crypto is, right? How healthy an asset is compared to what it should be, right? So a moving average is basically you take the average of the last 50 days, you take the average of the last 100 days or 25 days, right? So I have three moving averages right here. A green one, an orange one and a red one, right?
Mhm.
And these are like the 25-day moving average, 50-day moving average, and 100-day moving average,
Okay. Okay.
and yeah, and you can use this like measurement to show like how healthy, right, is a crypto. So let's start with something that everybody could remember, right? A year ago, right?
Mhm.
A year ago, 2017, right? Bitcoin was only at $1,000, right? Back
Mhm.
then, Bitcoin was like Bitcoin was $1,000, and you can tell that every time it corrected, right? Or some
Mhm.
things it crashed, right? It came back down to the 100-day moving average, and then
Mhm. Okay.
every time we had a pump, right? You can see one pump right here, one pump from like 1,200 to 2,800. Right? Every time it doubled or tripled, right? There was a correction, right?
Yeah.
And this was like last year from March to June, right? There was a big pump and then it corrected. There was like it went sideways and then there was a big drop. It dropped
Yeah.
down to 2,000, and from 2,000, this was in July, it started going up again. It started going up.
Mhm.
It started going up all the way to like 4,500, 4,500, and then 500, 5,000, right? And then it corrected again. It corrected down to 3,000. And then
Mhm.
after that crash, right, it started going up again. It
Mhm.
started going up to like seven, about like almost 8,000, right? And then it crashed again to 6,000. So you can tell that
Okay.
after every single crash, right,
Mhm.
Bitcoin came back stronger than ever,
Right.
right? And then the
And
most
every time
recent,
it crashes, it seems to go back to that red line, which is the moving
yeah,
average.
like
Of,
in order for it to be healthy, it should be down to the red line, right? But sometimes
right. Okay.
they make it like a small dip, right? It drops down to like the green line, right? And if it drops to green line, it's a good thing, but it also means that it could drop further later on. It's like think of it as like
Mm.
you have like a balloon, right? You have a
Mhm.
balloon and you have a lot of air in it, right? And every time you
Mhm.
pump it, like it could burst, right? But every time you release the pressure, right, you can pump
Mhm.
more in again, right? In the same way
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
same thing for like cryptocurrency, right? If it grows too quickly, it's not healthy, right? It needs like people need to get used to this, right? And every time it goes back to the orange line or red line, it's a correction. And the same thing, this is the same thing as what we have experiencing right now, right? Bitcoin just hit a correction at the 100-day moving average, right? This is where like
Yeah.
people are feeling that this is where it should be at, right? And you can see a lot of resistance, not resistance, but a lot of support, right? A lot of buyers, right? They
Yeah.
line up their buying points, right? They tell themselves, I'm going to be buying Bitcoin at the red line,
Yeah.
right? And you can
Yeah.
imagine like a lot of people are lining up. They are putting in their buy orders. They are like buying in like
I
in
imagine, like,
huge chunks.
I imagine a lot of investors use this, like they use this as an indicator
Yeah, they do.
of when to buy, right?
This is how the
When they
pros
play.
play. Right?
Yeah.
This is how the pros play. Wall Street investors and such, right? They use these indicators, and if you know how like Wall Street plays, right? You don't have to worry about Wall Street like ruining the crypto space because the way they play is actually pretty public. Like people like you
Mhm.
can learn about it, right? You can like look at how they are playing around on Wall Street, and you can see like you can look at the patterns and you can apply
Yeah.
them here. And yeah, and you can see right here, right? I'm just looking at here, right? You can see like a lot of buy support here, a lot of like some buy support here, 50, uh, like you have some buy support here. Well, and you can see like one BTC here, four BTC. Like there's a lot of, I mean, like you have a lot of people lining up their stuff here. Seven
Mhm.
BTC of buy,
Yeah.
but I mean Binance is not the biggest one. There are bigger exchanges, but this is one where I have access at right now. I'm looking at right now, right? Yeah. So this is just one indicator, right? I mean, I'm not saying that you should use this one indicator as like your only indicator on how to like invest, right? How to buy and sell, right?
Mhm.
Like I would use a series of different indicators to determine like when should I buy and when should I sell, because the same way as if one person, like if some guy tells you, hey, you should buy Ripple or you should buy Acoin, right?
Mhm.
You barely know this guy, and he tells you to buy Acoin. Of course, you're not gonna buy Acoin, right? But let's say you have like 5 or 10 friends who are telling you to buy this coin, right? You're gonna
Mhm.
put thought into it. And the same way I look at these indicators, right? Moving average is one indicator, right? Maybe the green line can be one friend, right? And then the orange line is another friend, and the red line is like a third friend, right? If they're all telling you to buy,
Okay.
if three of them telling you to buy, then you have three people telling you that it could be a good buy-in. But three people doesn't mean
Mhm.
everything, right? They would probably want to look at other indicators out there, right? And in this space, right, you do have other indicators. I'm just going to call out another indicator you may or may not have heard of. It's called the Fibonacci indicator. If they do have it here, they do have it here? No, they don't have the Fibonacci indicator. But we don't have the Fibonacci indicator, unfortunately. So
Okay.
this is another sheet we use. I'm going to switch back to Binance, because Binance, I know they for sure they have Fibonacci indicators. They have tools.
So I was wondering if you had an opinion on because every time something like this happens,
Yeah,
it seems to just like a really really like fall off the cliff type of drop, right?
yeah. That's
In a really really short time span. So is it that one person kind of or like whale starts the thing and then everybody just kind of follows suit, or is it coordinated, or like
it's
who are these people who are just deciding to like all sell at once, kind of?
oh, it's not all sell at once. It's usually some people who started selling and then
Yeah.
others start joining, right? And
Mhm.
and then
Yeah.
eventually you have even more joining in, right? And yeah, that's how usually how it works. And you can tell like where they dump too, right? I just pulled up something called a Fibonacci lines, right? And you can tell that you can see from here, right? If
Mm.
the all-time high is known as 100% or 0%, right? And
Okay.
start dropping, you can tell different resistance points, right? And different points where people stop dumping, right? And you start rising again. So you can see this is like
Okay.
50% retracement line right here. So around 50% between this range, right? There was it stopped dumping, started rising again, right? And then it started dumping again down to the
Hmm.
61% mark. And then they found some resistance,
Okay.
right? And and this is based on like if like 0% is where we start and 100% is like where the last point, right? The last the last lowest point we were at, right? If you remember last time we were at like
Hmm.
7k, 7k, 6k right before we start going up, right? Actually, yeah, around 7k, 6k, right? About like 6k right here. You can see right there are
Hmm.
some like there's some matches right here, right? It came down to 50%, came back up. It went down to 61%, and I think what we're experiencing right now is pretty healthy. You can, to some certain extent, predict where they're going,
Okay.
but but each of these indicators, right? It's only showing you part of the picture, right? It's not going to show you the full picture, and you do need to. That's why I'm a big fan of technical analysis, right? Where you do different measurements to know like where you like what things are gonna be like, right?
Hmm.
And yeah, and like if you know how to, if you master, if you have like good like technical analysis skills, or you have people who can give you good TA, right? You can do pretty well, right? And likewise, the opposite is true. You don't know your TA, and you can do it, and not just with the Bitcoin space, right? You can also do it in with your alts, right? Altcoin pairs and such. In fact, you look here, you can see like a lot of altcoins, right? They are bleeding red, except for Neblio, which I'm not sure. I haven't looked into
Yeah.
why they're doing pretty well, but you can tell that. But you can tell in general, right? a lot of crypto, a lot of Bitcoin, right? They had
Yeah.
a drop too, right? Throughout this day, right? It's like a crash day for them. Right? A lot of favorites out there, right? You can tell Cardano, ADA, right? ADA had like a 8% drop, right? It dropped.
Yeah.
The drop was the worst at about 4 p.m. Pacific time, right? It dropped so bad, and then it started recovering. You look at other coins like ICX, they get pretty big too, right? They dropped the worst down at about 4:30 and it started recovering.
Mhm.
You also have everyone's favorite
Mhm.
in December, Ripple, right? 4 p.m. 4, I mean, yeah, well, that's 2 p.m. My bad. 2 p.m. It dropped to its lowest point and it came back.
Yeah.
Right, a lot of these altcoins, right? They have a
Mhm.
pattern. BCC, right, which is not BitConnect but Bitcoin Cash on Binance.
Mhm.
They dropped down to like 0.15 BTC before recovering. But of course,
So have we already hit the bottom already? Because all the
I would
you're saying
I'll say that we hit a bottom, not
not the bottom.
not the bottom. We don't know whether there is the bottom, but we hit
Mhm.
something like this bottom with the recovery, right? Um,
Okay.
and you can see on other outs too, right? Other outs are showing it. We hit a bottom, could go up. When it hit a bottom, what could happen is we could have hit an absolute bottom and we could start going up, or we could be going through a
Mhm.
double bottom,
Okay.
right? And I can illustrate this. I can illustrate this on everybody's most hated app, which is Paint, right? So you could see that I'm a coin, right? It can go down, 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 down. You may think
Mhm.
it's the bottom. So this is one scenario, could go back up like this, right? A second scenario is it could go through a double bottom before bouncing back
Yeah.
up, right? And sometimes you may even have a triple bottom, right? And a triple bottom usually ends up looking like an upside down head and shoulder. And if you guys don't know what a head and shoulder is, it's a pattern a lot of traders use, right, to determine if something is overbought and it's going to drop. Right, and I'm just going to do like a 180. Yeah, 180. So you get a head and shoulder, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks something like this. A head and
So what's a good indicator to predict where the bottom is?
you just have to look at the candles, right? Look at the candles and look at the pattern. Look at like also the order books, right? Look at where people are buying and selling, right? Sometimes
Mhm.
you may think you may have hit a bottom, but and in fact there may be a bigger bottom, right? I mean, earlier, I mean yesterday, not yesterday, but this morning, right? 2 a.m., right? People thought they hit a bottom already, right? If we go back to Bitcoin, right? BTC, everyone's most recognized thing, right? This morning, right? We had a big dump, right? We had a big dump from 13K down to about 1050, right? Oh, 10, yeah, 10.5K, right? People thought that was the big
Yeah.
dump already. We thought that, oh, the worst is over, right? It recover. We think we're going up,
Yeah.
right? In fact, it only led us to a second dump, or
Hmm.
maybe even a third dump. You look at this, right? It led to a couple other smaller dumps, right? We don't know
Mhm.
whether this could be the last dump, but we have good reasons to believe that there's a lower likelihood of subsequent dumps because we had a couple big dumps already.
Okay.
Right. It's like predicting the earthquake, right? You don't know when an earthquake is going to come, and if an earthquake struck, you don't know whether an earthquake is going to strike.
Hmm.
And it all comes down to that your risk tolerance level, and
Hmm.
what what the risk tolerance level, what you could accept, and what's up. Something looks wrong with our live stream. No, we're back on live stream right now.
There's a question in the live chat. Do you think there will be a rebound after Lunar New Year?
I I think so. I think there's going to be a rebound very soon. Okay, looks like we got cut off.
Mhm.
Oh, the live stream is going bad right now. Let's see what can I do to.
Are you live streaming on Facebook And YouTube
No,
at the
no,
same
not
time, or
Facebook,
just YouTube?
just YouTube right now. Yep, this buffering has been buffering for the last 4 minutes. Oops. Yeah, it's been buffering for the last 4 minutes. Let's hope that people can see this. But it could be because I have a Binance and trading charts and coin market cap and like 4 other things going on.
How many windows do you have open?
I have about like a dozen.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can close. If I close my a couple, see can I get better streaming quality. Yeah, but can you see the YouTube screen right now? Can you see the live stream?
I can see it.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's been working for you, right? You can see what everything is showing, right?
Yeah. Sometimes it buffers, but then it's fine. It still loads pretty well,
Okay, so it's
pretty
okay,
quickly.
good. Then maybe it's the control module that's not showing that well.
Maybe.
Maybe, yeah. Okay, yeah. The
Yeah.
health is good now, so we're still live streaming, and that's good. So
So what's the most ridiculous FUD that you've read today?
I think the most ridiculous spot I heard today are from people who are saying the world's ending, crypto's ending, bubbles bursting. Like,
Mhm.
I mean, like, I just think of these as like weekends. Like these people, they just don't have the stomach to accept Bitcoin. And I think if they are moving now, it's good. I wish them the best of luck
Mhm.
with whatever else they are going into, right? But and yeah, I respect them for like making the decision to move out, right? Because that means more plunder for the rest of us,
Mm.
right? And yeah, and I mean the crypto space needs the crypto space needs people who are serious, right? People who will not lose like a small amount and then go turn around and complain and say, oh, it's a scam, it's a scam, it's a scam.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, but ultimately, what we need in the crypto space is we need more people. We need more informed people, people who understand the crypto technology, right? People who are not in it for the money,
Mhm.
but people who are in
Well,
it.
we also need like more projects just like really start,
Yeah,
implementing currency, right?
yeah,
Because right now it is very speculative since we only have like crypto kitties and what else, right?
yeah. I mean, we do want to. CryptoKitties is one of the things. There are also a lot of different applications out there too, right? There are. I mean, there are. I think in the last couple of months, there's been a lot of ICOs that came out. And these are not just. These are not like ICOs that are just lending platform, but these are ICOs with like real life application, right? With like data transfer, right? With medical storage, right? There are like
Mhm.
ICOs for keeping track of computing information. It's like cloud storage, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, so there's a lot of different applications out there, and I think it's going to get better from here on, right? There's going to get better from here on. There's people are using crypto as a way to address like some of the world's problem we have right now,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
And I think one of the rising markets is the privacy sector, right? That there's a lot of people who
Mhm.
worry about privacy, right? About whether the information is safe, right? With all these fear about the NSA and the loss of net neutrality, right?
Mhm.
There's going to be a lot of privacy applications that are going to
Mhm.
like address the lack of privacy people feel in this space. And I think
What do you think about the comparisons to .com? Because everybody likes to cite .com as like what's gonna
yeah,
most projects are gonna go under, and then there's gonna be a few big winners, and the whole thing is gonna crash from like 10 trillion to 1 trillion, and then go back up.
yeah. There was an illustration I saw, right, about where people were comparing the .com bubble with the crypto bubble, right? And if crypto is a bubble, right? And they said, and I can't find the
Yeah.
illustration, but the illustration was showing about how how big the dot-com bubble was like back in 2001. Like it was in the
Yeah.
trillions range, right? There were
Mhm.
trillions of dollars in this space, and when you look at the crypto space, right, we don't even have a trillion, let alone like right now. I believe we just fell back down to like half a trillion dollar. We don't have trillion, like 500 billion dollars, right?
Yeah.
It's barely a bubble when we look at this. Like we barely
Mhm.
have a lot of money in this. We just started. Um, may it become a bubble in the future? There's a possibility it could become a bubble if people are unsustainable, if people are just seeing its hype, if people
Mhm.
make like stupid decisions, right? It could become a bubble. But as long as people become more informed, right? As long as we have more like smart smart money in this space, right?
Mhm.
We
Yeah.
could avoid like we can avoid like this from becoming a bubble.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's my take on it. I think that crypto has a long way to go before
Mhm.
before it becomes like a real bubble.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I see it right here. Let me get this screenshot right here. Oh no, it's a redirect notice. Okay, can I do this? Copy image to address. That may work better. So this is an illustration of the dot-com bubble compared to the crypto market.
Mhm.
You can see that the dot-com bubble has about 6.7 trillion dollars,
Yeah.
where the crypto market only has like, well, right now this was older, but right now we have about like half a half a trillion dollar, about 500 billion dollars, right? We're nowhere close to the dot-com bubble,
Mhm.
right? And if this is a bubble, we have quite a ways to go before it becomes a bubble. And also the crypto space, right? We are getting a lot of these corrections, right, every once in a while, right? So I think it's a healthy thing. It does prevent us from overgrowing our like our the size that we are supposed to be at.
Yeah.
Because even with the dot-com bubble, it was just a correction, right? It was just a
Mhm.
correction. It corrected down to the right value, and then since then it started growing, right? You start seeing like Amazon, Google, and all these guys like taking off. And I think
Yeah.
like right today, right, like some of the most valuable companies are tech companies.
Yeah.
Right? You have like Apple, you have Google, right? Amazon.
Mhm.
So yeah, so I mean, a lot of these, I think that in this space, bubbles are actually a healthy thing. Like any correction is a healthy thing, right? It's you should only be worried like if you don't see a correction. You should only be worried if like if it keeps growing, growing, growing and doesn't stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like that's where we are at. Anything else you want to
Well,
curious
I was
about?
telling you earlier, wouldn't it be great if you could compile a list of all of the past Bitcoin is over articles from the past few years and just put it into one post, right? So that
Yeah,
we don't have to go through this again every time.
yeah,
We can just say, hey, this is what you said back here, 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 here.
yeah. That would be fun. Like, yeah, I mean, I think every month there's always a new article that goes like, "Oh, Bitcoin is over." I think
Yeah.
you can find it like every day. Every day there's a new article that says that. And the same way, like every day, like there's an article that says, "Oh, tech is over, tech is over, tech is over." So, but yeah, but that would be a fun activity to do.
Mhm. Yeah. So now that we've got this channel set up, what can people expect in the near future?
Yeah, I think like in the near future, I mean, I like to share this, like share about different things in the crypto space. Right? I mean, I know a lot of people they come into the space like knowing very little about crypto, right? They just hear that Bitcoin is something
Right.
that has a lot of values and go up in value, and
Mhm.
they jump into it without doing the research, without looking into how it works, right? Like if you were to
Mhm.
ask like 10 people who are who are into crypto, right? You ask them, have you read the Satoshi paper? I can assure you, like probably 9 of them haven't even read it, right?
Mhm.
And I think it's very important to like understand the technology behind it, to understand the market force behind it, to understand how things work right before like
Right.
going all in, right? And like in this crypto space,
Yeah.
right? I know that a lot of people they want to grow the crypto, but they
Mhm.
listen to a lot of bad advice, right? They listen to like maybe like they come across an ad, right? Let's say it's like uh, s- um, in profitable investment platform, right? Make 15% in like
Uh-huh.
return every day, and these people just
Yeah.
join like without doing the homework. They don't fork out like $1,000 worth of crypto into this,
Mhm. Yeah.
and before they know it, like a few weeks
I think it's
later.
also quite a difficult concept for the average person to grasp. Value in decentralization. They don't see like
No, yeah.
what the potential for this technology is.
No, a lot of people don't understand
So
decentralization. A lot of people are used to like going through like a central body like to get things,
yeah.
right? Whether it is whether it is especially funding, right? And with any services, right? They expect a
Mhm.
central body. People are used to like finding that central body to get support, right? To get support when if things don't work, right? And I was
Yeah.
looking at what's that thing? I was signed up for my Ether wallet, right? It was an Ethereum wallet, and they made me go through a long like orientation thing, right? Just to understand what it means, like what decentralized mean, right? And one of the biggest thing about decentralization is you won't have like someone who can like pull up your password. Who can pull up your password, right? If you lose your password, right? Everything is all decentral. There's no like central storage, and the good thing about that is
Mhm.
it's not vulnerable, right? There's no like central place to hack, right? But the downside is there's also no like central person who
Yeah.
can help you if things go wrong.
Mhm.
And yeah, depending on like your style, your preference, right? It could be a good thing or it could be a not so good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I do want to yeah like help. I think I would be great for like to learn about this, right? To learn together, learn about how crypto works, right? What's happening in crypto space? Every time when we see a candle, right? When we see like the candles going down, right? We see like a downtrend, right? We can understand, like, we can share with one another, right? Why
Mhm.
this is happening, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's why I see for the near future for yeah crypto together um, on
Mhm.
Facebook and for cryptogroupbuy.com where we like share one another like different things happening in the crypto space, and we also share like reviews on different ICOs, because I know everybody wants to get in on ICOs, right? That they want to get in for
Mhm.
$1 and they want to sell at like at $5 and effectively 5xing their like investment. Right? I think
Yeah.
everyone wants to do that, but how do you know which one's a real deal, which one does, right? And even experts can tell you, but there are ways you can mitigate your risk. There are ways you can tell if something, if one of the coin that you're looking at has a good chance out there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we have a good first session, and we are about an hour and 30 minutes into this live stream.
Yep.
So yeah, I think I'm pretty good. And anything else you want to cover before we we call it
We
quits?
we we will cover it in the next episode, right? Because
Yeah.
we're gonna end it here, right?
Yeah, I think we're gonna end it here.
Yeah.
So like any topic you want to cover, any topic you're curious about.
Or you should tease the next episode if you have something in mind.
Yeah, I think what we want to look into is I want to um go over give you a quick introduction on 10 ways you can grow your crypto. Right, 10 ways
Okay.
you can multiply your crypto. Right, because right now you may be hodling your crypto. Right, it may be going
Yeah.
up in value against the USD, but you'll half a BTC will still remain half BTC, right? It's not gonna become
Yeah.
one BTC unless you do something with it. And I
Mhm,
think I
yeah.
think maybe next week I'll give you guys a quick introduction on 10 ways people are growing their BTC, growing their crypto, right?
Okay.
And yeah, so that's what we're gonna do next week.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I think we can. Yeah, I think we have a good pilot session, and yeah, and I think our next session we're gonna cover those. And yeah, so thank you everybody for joining. Thanks Jeff for joining us halfway through.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we'll see you all next time.
All right.